Hey guys, it's Chris Wong. For this video, I'll talk about how my views on debt has changed over the years. So as a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who's interested in building a portfolio. So when I first got started investing, or when I first got started saving my money, I always viewed debt was bad, and that any form of debt is bad. I was not against using a credit card, as long as I was able to treat it like I actually had the money in my bank account to just pay it off right away. And I still have that habit to pay off my credit card right away. When I got started to investing, I only understood use money I was willing to lose. Use money that I actually earned and use money I had. So I did not take out any margin in order to invest at that time. And I did that for over 3 years. When I started learning about investing with margin, I actually thought about why should I use margin to invest? And after watching YouTube videos from Unconventional Wealth Ideas and We the Kamirs, then over time I started becoming more open about using margin in order to invest. And I started listening to other videos about people who use margin to invest or use margin for real estate. Now, I'm not into real estate, but it gave me a reason to think about why using margin or using some form of debt in order to build assets, it can be beneficial if used correctly. I have a lot of precautions set for myself in order to protect myself in case I made a mistake. But after using margin for the last 3 or 4 months, it gave me new thoughts about using margin in general. So one thing I've noticed is margin or any form of debt, if used correctly, can actually help you get ahead faster. But if used incorrectly or used at the wrong time, it can actually set you back even further than not using any debt. Because if you use debt and you lose your money, you have zero money and you owe the person who lent you money. So it can set you back even further than no debt at all. My investments in my margin account are high yield dividends that pay on a monthly or weekly basis. So I own funds like QQQY, JEPY, IWMY, YMAX, YMAG, QDTE, and eventually I may get into RDTE. Because all these investments, they give me good amounts of monthly or weekly distributions, and they are much bigger than the margin interest I pay every single month. Over time, as I collect my monthly or weekly distributions, my margin debt will go down, my portfolio over time will be getting bigger, and my available buying power will get bigger, and that depends on how I continue investing. Will I continue buying more, or will I just let the dividends, the distributions, just pay it back so that over time my buying power becomes more available? As I become more experienced investing and as time goes on, my buying power should be bigger, and I should be more open in the future to take out some money out of my margin account, and that comes out of my buying power available, and I could use that to buy other things. I may be open in the future to use margin to buy a car and then have the funds pay back the margin. So based on my last month's distribution and margin interest, I actually did a calculation how long it will take for the funds to actually pay back the margin. And if it was just based on the last month's distributions, I calculated that it should approximately take about 3.5 years to pay it back if the monthly distribution is the same every single month, and if the margin interest is the same every single month. If the margin rate stays the same, and if I don't use any money from the margin account, then the margin interest amount should be less when it gets closer to paying it off, because it's based on the balance each day, and it calculates an average at the end of the month. Even though in general I am against using other forms of debt or financing a car in order to buy a car you cannot afford, as long as I'm able to build a portfolio first, even 2 portfolios, one with no margin and one that I can use some margin, then as long as I can take out some margin in order to pay for the car and then have the funds pay back the margin balance, then I think I'm okay with that in the future. I wouldn't be doing that today, and this is not financial advice, and I'm not recommending people to do this. This is just something I thought about now, and I may consider doing that in the future when it comes time to buying a new car. I hope you guys liked this video. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, please subscribe to my channel for future videos. Thank you guys for watching.